Everyone, ChaseWins.com. Coming back with some more free plays. We're also going to look at, it's Tuesday morning now, and we will have plays for Tuesday night. There's 3 games going on in the MAC, but I'm not going to give out a free play on that. I'm going to give out one for Wednesday that I'm looking at because I haven't decided what I'm going to play for Tuesday yet, and I highly doubt this video is going to go up today because I have just now done yesterday my ROI videos for the last couple of weeks. Make sure you click the link in the description below. That'll take you back to the recap of what we've done the past 2 weeks. I didn't break down in detail every single game for the last 14 days, obviously, because it would just be too long of a video. But it tells you what we did as far as profit, which is all that matters. And we made a ton of profit over the past 2 weeks. So make sure that in that video also, talks about all the promos that we've got going on for this week. If you want to be a 30-day all-access member to test the waters before you purchase the 1 year, right now, this week and this week only, just as we did 2 weeks ago, we had a ton of people request that we do it again because they didn't have a chance to jump on. You can get it for $499. That gives you every premium play, every daily top play, every game of the week, game of the month, a game of the year if we have them, which there is a really good chance we're going to have a game of the year this week in football. I'm not going to say whether it's the NFL or NCAA that I'm looking at because I don't want to give anything away. But if we do lock this game of the year in, it will be out days prior to the game actually going to give you plenty of time to jump on it. All access members are the only ones that get that play included in their membership. Anyone else would have to purchase that play separately. You can get the NCAA basketball season for $500, which is going to be half price of what this season's promo price is going to be. Every year, our price for NBA and NCAA basketball is $1,500 a piece, or usually $2,000 if you want to do a combo pass. Right now, you can get NBA, which starts on December the 22nd, or in 15 days, you can get it, the NCAA pass. So again, you're 2 weeks away from college basketball starting, which is our second best sport that we do. The only sport that it doesn't trump every year is baseball. You can get it for $500. This year, you can get either one of them for $1,000 for either one. But right now, this week and this week only, you can get it for $550 off, or the combo pass, which gets you all of college basketball and all of the NBA from day one of tip-off through March Madness National Championship and the NBA Finals for $1,000. You can see all that at the website, ChaseWins.com. Again, and we ran a promo or a contest a few weeks back allowing people to get on the 1 year all access pass for over 75% off the cost. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to take the money that we take, from this and donate it to myself and my partner, Jerry Valdez's We Are Sports Foundation. So your money would actually be going to charity, but you would get the 1 year all access pass. Now you can be a 1 year all access member already, and you can extend your 1 year for over 75% off. What we were doing was a random drawing. Everybody that wanted to enter in could email me their name and information, say, hey, I'm interested in getting it, or DM it to me on Twitter @PicksChase. We had an overwhelming amount of people say, yes, I want it. We did the random drawing. We sent out the notifications to everyone. Within a matter of minutes, we had most of the people come back, say, yep, I want it. They took advantage. But then we had some people not contact us back. I gave it 7 days. And then I sent them back, said, don't worry about it. Your name is null and void. The offer is no longer valid for you. We gave you 7 days to respond back. And so what I did was send out an email to all my clients on Tuesday night on Monday night, telling them that we were going to rerun the contest. And tonight, when we send out the plays, I'm going to let them know what the actual details of it are. What I think it's going to be is just everybody needs to re-show their interest, if you will. So on Monday, last night when we sent out the email, I just told everybody that we had some spots not filled. I didn't get into a lot of context. It was just an email telling everybody that we were not going to have a play for Monday Night Football. But what it's going to be is everybody, besides the people that had the chance to get it and didn't, can resend me an email or DM me on Twitter, say, hey, I want the 1 year all access pass for over 75% off the cost. And we're going to do another drawing. I'm either going to do it tonight or Thursday morning, either one. That way we can fill those spots. There's no reason why we shouldn't. I love doing it. We don't get to do it often. This will be the last thing we do for the 1 year all access pass for 2020. So do not expect another promo to run for this pass. And if you're interested in donating to the We Are Sports Foundation, you can do so. And if you would like to do it, you can do so, and maybe I'll exchange it for some packages if you want to. Just send me an email, chase@chasewins.com, and I'll get you all the details as to how you can do it. All right, so that's pretty much everything. If you want more in depth, you can go watch the video in the link in the description below. I'll also give out an underdog play for Saturday college football. I'm going to give out 2 plays here. One for Wednesday night. So tomorrow night we have Western Michigan going up against Toledo. Western Michigan is at home. Let me double check this line real quick. Yeah, so they're still laying 2.5. Right now, the money line's at -135 in favor of Western Michigan. Do I think they can cover this line? Yes, I think that a field goal is about accurate. When I did the numbers, I had Western Michigan -3, but I think the money line should be closer to about that 150 mark versus $1.35. So where I see the value in this game against two very evenly matched teams, especially this year, I do think that Western Michigan will end up being a little bit better of a team come the end of the season. But right now, neither of these teams are truly battle tested. They've played one game. This is going to be their second game of the season. So I think that there's still a lot of room for error on both sides of the ball, none of which I think the defenses will be able to capitalize on. And that's the big kicker with these early season MAC games, is even with a lot of a lot of offensive errors that can be committed, turnovers, mistakes, whatever, where usually really good offensive teams and teams with really good special teams will be able to capitalize and turn that into immediate points. Until they really get into a rhythm and into a system, they're not going to turn it into very many points because they're, again, still kind of getting into a rhythm. They're getting used to the season. So you're not going to see a lot of that, which is going to make games closer than they should be. Whereas you look at weeks 4 and 5 for these squads, that's when you would see teams be able to create big separation and just blow the game wide open. I don't think you're going to see that in this game, even though I do think there will be mistakes on both sides of the ball. I actually think Western Michigan is probably more prone to mistakes at this point. But even if they commit them, I don't think that Toledo is going to be able to capitalize like you think they might be able to. What I see is two very evenly matched teams. I think that it's going to come down to play calling and just overall, between the ears, who's the better football mind, who's better under center. And right now, I think Western Michigan's got the edge there. Plus, they're at home. They're not traveling. Again, home field doesn't mean a lot. But again, being that you're so early in the season for these teams, it's only week 2, traveling can mean a lot. Now, Toledo, Ohio, going to Michigan, it's not like it's that big of a deal. But these teams hopping on a bus and taking that trip, this being their first road trip of the season, it's only week 2. They're going to be tired after week 1 last week on Wednesday. Even though it's been 7 days, again, that was their first game. Now they got to get right back into practice and now get on the road and head to Michigan and do all that. I think that the travel is going to mean more than it would, again, if we were midway through the season under normal circumstances. So that's where I see just a little bit of that home field advantage coming into play is, just being at home, not having to have the stress of travel and things like that, on your plate added to what's already, in the mix for this season. So again, where I see two evenly matched teams, I think we have a better quarterback under center with Western Michigan. I think that we've got a little bit better play calling with Western Michigan. Plus, I think we're going to have a more prepared and rested Western Michigan team, being that they don't have to travel. And that's where I see them having the slight upper hand in this game. And again, if we weren't getting value on the money line, I think this would be a game where everything would be accurate and it'd probably just be a layoff. Because again, when I did the numbers, I was coming up with 3.5 in some circumstances. But right now it's at 2.5. That's, getting it where I think it should be 3 and it's only 2.5 isn't giving me enough value to make me want to jump. But where I see a money line that should be 150 to 155, we can get it at 135. That's where I see value in the market. I think the market's trying to, not necessarily trick us, but I think that the market is kind of showing some volatility here as to where they don't know where this money line should be. And 1 week of football, no matter how the game turned out, good or bad, is going to tell you. Until we get into week 3 and 4, the market's not really going to catch up to true accuracy when it comes to money. Points, maybe, sure. Again, you're going off of 1 week, so after this week, we could see where if it was a rematch yet again, we could be seeing, spreads over a touchdown under the same circumstances. But again, with 1 week, you just don't know. And I think right now, going into week 2 for the MAC conference, any team that you can lay just $1.35 with to win outright for a team that you believe is the better team and has the upper hand, I think is a great value. It's great investment, and it shows that the market really doesn't know. They're kind of showing their hand here, and they're putting themselves in kind of a volatile situation, and I'm going to capitalize on that. So I'm going to take Western Michigan on the money line minus 135. I'm not going to lay the points because I don't think there's any value in that, even though I do think this game will be decided by at least a touchdown. I just don't see value in laying the points. So my free pick for Wednesday night is going to be Western Michigan on the money line minus 135. Make sure you get on that. I'll make sure I have this video up sometime by Wednesday morning at least. That way this line doesn't move, much. And again, I promise underdogs. Our underdogs have been hitting like absolute wildfire. Let's see. 2 weeks ago, we ended up giving out 9 underdogs going 8-2, or excuse me, 10 underdogs going 8-2. The 8 underdogs that not only covered and we took the points and they covered and cashed. Every single one of them won outright, and one of those was a big plus 175 winner on the Miami Dolphins. This past week, we absolutely killed underdogs again, having 3 on Saturday alone, with Pitt winning outright, Washington State winning outright, and Arkansas winning outright. All 3 of those underdogs we had, all 3 of them cashed. On Sunday, cashing in an underdog as a daily top play on the Ravens, cashed in a moneyline underdog. It took them on the money line, and then cashed in another money line underdog on the Las Vegas Raiders. They were only catching a point, but we still took them, and they won outright. And I've already given out 1 underdog for this week for Saturday college football. Again, click the link in the description below to see that. I'm going to give you another underdog here. I'm going to take the points because we're getting that hook, which means a lot in this game. But it is a game where I see the underdog winning outright. That's Louisville on the road going against Virginia. Virginia is a fraud. Now, I know Virginia went to the ACC championship last year. Big whoop. Doesn't mean anything. And this year, even though you keep hearing about the returning starters for Virginia, why is nobody talking about the players for Virginia that opted out? Why is nobody talking about the players for Virginia that graduated and moved on, which are more valuable than who's staying? Even though you can look at it and say, hey, they were playmakers. They were playmakers in a shitty football conference. Yeah, great. They made plays against NC State. They made plays against Virginia Tech. They made plays against Wake Forest. Who gives a shit? Nobody. Louisville, on the other hand, again, is a team that I told you going into this season, the week before it started when we talked about this, when I said who I think teams were overhyped, I thought Louisville was in those teams that were going to be good, not quite as good as they were made out to be going into the season. And what did I say? The most underrated team in college football going into 2020 season was Maryland. Go back and watch the video. I got 100 different messages telling me that I've never watched football in my life. And look, I said Tua's little brother was going to be more impressive than Tua. Look at him. Not only is Maryland playing good, they're going out there and outright beating dominant teams like they're standing still. Maryland has arrived, folks, and I've been telling you for the last 2 seasons it was coming, and it was going to come under Tua's little brother, who is better. And I said last year he's going to be better than his older brother, even when his older brother before his injuries, when he was in his prime at Alabama. Tua's little brother is the real deal, folks, and Maryland is the real deal, and you better watch out because Maryland 2021 is a national championship contender. I promised you Maryland will win a national championship for 2025, and I stand by that. This team has arrived. It took them a long time to transition from ACC to Big Ten in football, but now that they figured it out, now they've got their feet under them when it comes to recruiting in the places they have to recruit. They're there. They're not, yes, they can recruit in the territory of Virginia, Virginia Tech, Pitt, Rutgers, places like that. It doesn't matter if they're beating out recruits that could have gone to Virginia, Virginia Tech. What are the chances of them playing them? Slim to none. They've got to worry about Penn State. They do have to worry about Rutgers. They have to worry about Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Wisconsin. All those people that beforehand they never were worried about recruiting in. They were recruiting from New York all the way down to Florida. Now they're shifting it to the center of the country, into the Midwest region, where talent is being plucked up for Michigan and Ohio State. Again, we'll talk about them at another time. Louisville's one of those teams that I said was a bit overrated. I still think they're one of the most talented teams in the ACC, but again, that's not saying much. And I think that the quarterback is still, lacking a few targets that he really needs to be able to, go out there and show what he's truly made of. I don't think he's going to be what Lamar Jackson was to that team, but I think the way he can use his legs, I think that he's got a much better football mind than Lamar Jackson does, and he's got a hell of an arm. Doesn't have a lot of good targets. But what you have seen over the past few games with him is that he's becoming more comfortable with his targets. Virginia has been overrated since they were in the ACC championship last year. People were actually talking about, if this season was, 20 weeks instead of 16, 16 instead of 13 weeks, we could be seeing Virginia actually in national championship talk. Give me a break. Really? Virginia in national championship talks for football? What's next? Hawaii wins it next year? Anybody that actually believe that, you really need to check yourself into a mental institution. Virginia's a fraud. They really are. And right now, Louisville, when I did this, when I broke this game down 6 ways from Sunday, I had Louisville laying 1.5. Now, giving Virginia every single benefit of the doubt, I can have Virginia laying a point. And that's giving them every benefit of the doubt and saying they play flawlessly. Well, it's possible. It's not very likely, but it's possible. But even then, let's go one farther and say that, because this year you cannot give a team 3 points for home field. You just can't. And Virginia, I'm sorry, it's really... being at home for Virginia is never 3 points worthy to me, even in normal years. So let's say that we give them 3 points for it and give them the point, giving them every single benefit of the doubt and saying they play flawlessly. That means that Virginia's laying 4 in a perfect world. Right now, Louisville's catching 3.5. Every way I broke this game down, I had Louisville laying a point and a half, sometimes a half point. And there was even a couple instances where I had him as a pick'em. And if you got him as a pick'em, you always kind of lean towards that home team. But I'm sorry. I just think Louisville is the better team. And in this situation, I've got it to where Louisville should actually be laying a point. But even if we say it's a pick'em, even if we do, 3.5 is too much. If this game were Louisville +3, +2.5, there'd still be some value there because this is a game I think Louisville wins outright. But at 3, I was looking at this game and looking at it, knowing that I would have money on it one way or another. And when it got up to 3.5, that's all she wrote right there. That hook is worth the equivalent of 2 full points in my book, because this is a game that could be decided by a field goal. And let's say that Virginia plays perfectly and Louisville makes some late mistakes. The game's tied going late into the 4th. Virginia has great clock management, and they kick that game-winning field goal to win by 3. That half point still means a lot, doesn't it? If we weren't getting this hook right here, I would put this as a lean, take Louisville on the money line, and that would be it. But instead, what I'm doing is I'm taking Louisville +3.5 as a premium play. Take the 3.5 points because that hook is beyond valuable in this situation. And I'm also going to take a half wager, so half of my normal premium, so a lean. And I'm taking Louisville on the money line because we're getting plus $1.45, and I still think that's good value. 3.5, I think it could be a little bit higher, maybe 155, but I'll take the 145 because, again, if I didn't think Louisville was going to win this game outright, I probably wouldn't be touching it anyway, for anything more than a lean. But that half point means so much in this situation. So premium play, Louisville +3.5 points, lean, half that wager, go money line on Louisville to win outright +145. There's your 2 free plays, both for this week, one for Wednesday, Western Michigan on the money line, and then we got Louisville for Saturday college football. I'm going to be doing at least 2 more videos this week, trying to pick out some more underdogs for you guys that will win outright. And we'll have at least one NFL game too. Stay tuned for the big top plays. Go get on a package. Stop waiting. Send me an email, chase@chasewins.com, or DM me on Twitter @PicksChase. Let me know if you want that 1-year all-access pass for 75% off. Your money's going to go to a great cause to help youth sports in underprivileged communities communities, and you get something in return. You get to be a long-term member of the best sports consulting service in the business. Something where if you follow what I give you, and you follow it to a T, and you don't step out and try to do things on your own and be a superhero, you will make money. And that is a guarantee and a promise. I love you guys. Again, I'll see you back either Wednesday, Thursday. Again, we're trying to get back in from me being sick for a week. But it's going to be a huge week, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So enjoy these free plays. Go click the link in the description below for the other free plays that I gave out and the ROI recaps. And I'll see you back for another one shortly. Thanks, guys.